I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today. Today, I want to talk about long-term care planning. And when you think about long-term care planning, this is planning that it's not about you. It's about taking care of your loved ones, making sure that they have the resources to be taken care of in a long-term care situation, but also protecting the other assets for the well spouse and making sure that the kids have the ability to make sure you're taken care of and it doesn't, upset their life or livelihood. When we talk about long-term care, there's two types of care that we're always looking for. One is a chronic health condition. Now, if you think about a chronic health condition, this is not one where you have an injury or you've got to, they're doing medical care to improve your situation. This is taking care of you in a chronic health situation. It's something that you can no longer take care of yourself. So somebody else has to step in and provide that care. The other one is a cognitive issue. You've got a decline in cognitive ability, dementia, Alzheimer's. Those are things that affect your ability again to take care of yourself. So when we're looking at long-term care, we're looking at these two types of impairments. If you look at the types of things that trigger long-term care, we look at activities of daily living. So if we have 6 activities of daily living and cognitive impairment. If you can't do 2 of those 6 activities of daily living, or you have a cognitive impairment, that's going to trigger the ability to start collecting on a long-term care insurance policy. But these are, when you think of the activities of daily living, these are the things that we do every day, and most of the time just don't even think about it. But if you need care, you're going to think about it because you can't do it. I've helped my mother-in-law, be able to transfer my father-in-law from a bed to a wheelchair, or at night from a wheelchair to bed. There again, she couldn't do it. He couldn't do it, so they needed the help. There again, that's what we're looking at, is providing that help. If you start looking at long-term care planning options, how to pay for this, I think the number one is people think, well, I'll just pay for it myself. And I've seen this listed as self-insurance. It's not insurance. It's you opening up your wallet and writing the check. Now, the problem with self-pay is it's a cash flow issue. So think about this. You're in your retirement years. You've got your budget that's going to carry you through retirement. You've got your retirement accounts, you've got your home, you may have other assets. What I ask an individual when they say, I'll just pay for it. Okay, what I would like you to do is start writing down, in what order do you want your kids to start selling those assets? Because those assets need to be exchanged from asset to income in order to pay the bill. And I want your kids to understand, you made this decision. You made a decision not to plan. Therefore, we're going to utilize your assets to cover the care. Also, understand when you're selling those assets, accessing a retirement account, we're triggering a tax. You've got to pay the tax, and then with the net amount, pay for the care. So it becomes very, very expensive. Medi-Cal or Medicaid, for those that don't have assets or haven't planned, Medi-Cal and Medicaid is available, but it's like I tell people, you're broke, or they'll make you broke before they start cutting checks. And you don't get to pick where the care happens. It's going to be in a facility that actually takes Medi-Cal or Medicaid. And those are typically places we don't want the care to be provided. Finally, with insurance, insurance is a leveraging. So it's one, if I'm going to put 100,000 towards my care, now I have 2, 3, 4, 500,000 of care leveraged with the insurance company's assets to start taking care of me or my loved ones. So we're leveraging and transferring that risk to the insurance company. And with some of these products that we have available, you can have a lifetime benefit. If you're in care for the next 20 years, they're going to be paying that no matter what on a guaranteed basis. So looking at the insurance options is a great way to transfer that risk, leverage that risk. Now, one thing with long-term care, it used to be traditional long care was use it or lose it. So if you paid for long-term care, you might have paid 200,000 into your long-term care premium over the last 20 years. And if you died from a heart attack, the insurance company said you get no benefit. You've lost it. What I like about asset-based long-term care, it's based on either an annuity chassis or a life insurance chassis. So there's going to be an element of getting that money back if you don't use it. But think about it. You take with asset-based care, you're going to take money, you're going to deposit it with the insurance company in the form of premium. You're going to immediately turn that into more benefit for long-term care. Now, over time, your initial amount of money is going to grow and the coverage is going to be there. What I like is if you need the money back, you can either access that and take a withdrawal. There's going to be a cash value component of the asset-based care. There's going to be surrender charges if you take it too early. But if you need that money back, your situation changed. Think back to 2008. In 2008, a lot of people lost a lot of money. Their situation changed. They lost their job. They lost access to capital. Now you've got the ability to access this capital if you need it. And if you don't use the benefit for long-term care and you pass away, your heirs are going to get a tax-free death benefit. So here's what I like about the asset-based care. If you live and need the care, you've got the long-term care coverage that you need. You've been able to leverage those dollars. So you put in 100,000 of premium, you've got 3, 4, 500,000 or an unlimited benefit to cover your long-term care. If you trigger 2 out of those 6 activities of daily living, you can't do it anymore, or you have a cognitive impairment, that long-term care benefit kicks in. Your family now has access to tax-free money to make sure you're taken care of without tapping into all of your other assets or retirement accounts or whatever you've saved up. However, if something changes and you need to cash in this policy, there's going to be an element of cash value there. So you can withdraw that money because, and people say, well, hold it, I put that in there for my long-term care. Yes, when we plan, we're planning to cover your long-term care. But if your situation changes so dramatically that you need access to that money, it's there. So finally, if you pass away and didn't use up all of your care or didn't use any of your care, your family's going to get a tax-free death benefit. So think about this. You're going to need it for a long-term care situation. Your situation changes and you need to access that cash value for whatever reason, or you die of a heart attack, never used the care, your family gets that money back. I love asset-based care because there's so many what if my situation changes? And all of this comes back to proper good planning to help you understand we can take care of you. No matter what happens, you're going to get the benefit from this policy. So if you think about asset-based care, there's no use it or lose it feature. Traditional long-term care has a use it or lose it feature that says if you don't need long-term care, you don't get any benefit from this policy that you've put away. So look at your options, look at when you're helping your clients. This is an area that there's a growing need. We know at least 70% are going to need long-term care. So either we plan for it properly or we're stuck paying with it out of our pocket dollar for dollar. So I appreciate you being on. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out and we'll talk again next week. Thank you.